dope ass dude podcast. Transparent conversation. Real life stories. Hustling, grind, transparent conversation. Real life stories. Hustling, grind.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, the dope ass dude, and I am so excited to be back with you guys on tonight. We have an amazing show lined up for you guys, and I'm really excited about my guest. So excited I'm her plugged in here on Facebook. But yeah, so tonight is going to be an amazing show, guys. I'm really excited to introduce you to her and her music and her ministry and everything that she has going on. So you guys already know the preliminary things. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you don't mind going ahead subscribing to the YouTube channel now, so that each and every time a podcast is uploaded to the site, you will be notified. And then click on notification there so you can make sure you're notified. And then while you're there, go ahead and click on like so that it can be shared with others just like you. Now, if you're not able to watch the podcast on Monday, you know you can always check us out on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Again, that's Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And then you can watch it live each and every Monday here on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. Again, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. And then if you are not following me on Instagram and TikTok, if you don't mind going ahead and follow me on those platforms, I can be found at the Dope Ass Dude Podcast on both Instagram and TikTok. You can find me on both of those, the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. And we'll go ahead and get LYRIK's information out of the way. You can follow LYRIK on all of social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at LYRIK, and that's LYRIK 4 God. So again, that's LYRIK 4 God. And I'm gonna spell it out one more time for those who's gonna be listening on the go. That's LYRIK 4, and then God. And then if you want to book her for your next event, you can always book her on her website, and you can pick up some gear. She has a lot of gear out there on her website. You can pick it up, and that is lyric4god.org. Again, that's lyric4god.org. So I'm really excited to have LYRIK on the podcast on tonight. And LYRIK may not know this here, but I knew about her before I even met her. Her aunt and myself, I used to serve at the same church as her aunt. Her aunt was the worship leader there, and I served under her leadership for I think about 5 years. And you guys remember her. She was on the podcast before. There's Marion Jacobs-Burke. She was the playwright. And Marion, I never forget it. Marion was like, hey, you got to come and hear my niece. She's going to be doing this big concert. And the concert was actually down in Turl, and it was at the Jamie Foxx Performing Arts Center. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to Turl, but they named a Performing Arts Center after the actor, comedian Jamie Foxx. And it is like simply beautiful. So if you're ever in the Turl area, make sure you go by and visit it. But LYRIK had her, I think she had just signed with the label, or it was something going on, and she had like this big release of her CD, and she had a lot of guests there. Carolyn Traylor, a good friend of mine, and Marion's group ministered that night, and LYRIK was like off the hook that night. It was really amazing, and that was the first time I ever experienced LYRIK and her ministry and how she like controls the stage. I mean, she controls it, she owns it. And since then, she was a member of the church that Marion serves as worship leader. And Lyric, she performed over there many times. And I know her mother and her sisters and her brother. And it's just an amazing family. And as you guys know, this whole season, I am like each episode is, I was blessed to write the whole album for K Renee audition tape. And each week it is about one of the songs on the on the album. And this week is on the song Placeholders. And that song pretty much talk about friends, and it's really talking about your support system. And a lot of times we are surrounded by people who really aren't our friends, and we're just holding on to them, and they become placeholders. They are there for pictures on social media, or if we want to go somewhere, they're in the car with us, you know, so placeholders. And but one thing I can say about the Jacobs family, I'm going to call them the Jacobs family. One thing I can say about them, it's a lot of them. And you guys may remember when Marion was on the podcast, I think it was 18 of them. It's either 13 or 18 of them. And I've never seen, and my family is extremely supportive of me, but I've never seen a family that is as supportive as the Jacobs family. I mean, Marion says 17. Thanks, Marion. 17 was 17 siblings, all from the same mother, same father. But I've never, ever seen a family that is as supportive as they are. So, and my first experience was when I went down to hear Lyric minister at her event. When I tell you, when you walked in, her family was working security, they was taking tickets, they were working backstage, they were performing. I mean, it's like a whole army of Jacobs, and they are extremely supportive of their own. And that's one thing I love about Marion. Marion, she is always going to boost her family up, but not only her family, anybody she knows, Marion is going to put them in the spotlight for them to, you know, get further along in their careers and so forth. And I'm just so honored to have Lyric here. I keep calling Miracle, but Lyric here with me on tonight. So Lyric, we about to bring her on out here. Lyric, what's going on? I've been calling.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Wow. So I am happy. Everybody may not remember, but when Marion was on the podcast, Lyric was in the comments. And I said, hey, I'm going to have to get you on the podcast. And it's manifesting tonight.
To God be the glory. I appreciate you for having me. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, me too. So what's going on with you? Like, so tell us, you know, introduce yourself to everybody.
What's up, world? Y'all know who it is. It's your girl, Lyric. What? Most of you that are on here probably already know me, that are from my side. Like he said, my family, I'm sure they're on supportive. I don't see where I can see the messages or that's being left, but I'm sure my family's on there. If you're on there, go ahead and give me a shout out and check in. Let me know that you are in the house. Listen, I am Lyric for God. For those of you who do not know, I am a Christian rapper. Not only am I a Christian rapper, I am an educator. I teach middle school students. I've been doing that for 15 years. And so that's actually how I got into rapping. And so if you want to hear a bit about that in my beginning, I can go into that as well.
So you're educated. I didn't know that. And you teach middle school kids?
Middle school. I tried high school 1 year during COVID, and it wasn't for me. I had to go back to the children. In high school, I 90% of the children are taller than me. I was looking up, it was too much. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go back down here where they still trying to hit that growth spurt. And I have a few kids that's shorter than me, you know.
Yeah. So how did you get started in rapping?
Okay, so I was teaching. I had been teaching 3 years, I think. At that point, I had been a teacher for 3 years and coaching. I coached volleyball, basketball, and track. And so I had been teaching and coaching. And one day I was in the hallway and a young man walked by me and he was rapping and saying all the lyrics to this song. And I knew that song had just came out. And I was like, now, he can't remember nothing I teach him in his classroom, but he already know all the words to that song. And it just hit me in my spirit. It was like, when you put your lesson in a song, he probably remember it. And so that's how I got the idea. And so I went home and I got my lesson and I made it rhyme and I made it into a little rap. And so when I went back to work, I taught the kids the rap, and sure enough, they got it, and they was able to rap those lyrics back, and they understood the concept, or at least memorize the concept, because they were able to have it to a catchy beat. I went on YouTube and got a little beat. And so that's how it first happened. I just started taking all of my lessons, turning them into raps. It was just my thing. Everybody knew I was a rapping teacher. And so one of my coworkers, her husband was a youth pastor in Terrell, and it was at a church where a lot of our students went on Wednesdays because they had the open gym for basketball, and they fed them hot dogs and pizza. So a lot of the kids would go on Wednesdays to visit that church. And so they asked me to speak on a Wednesday, and the title of the subject was Get in the Game. And so I wrote my first rap. So I said, these kids, they always hear me rapping about English. I'm gonna write a rap about Jesus. And so that's how it all happened. I wrote a little rap, and after I got done, after I was finished speaking, I said, I got something special for you guys. And I just flowed for them. And it was a cappella, man, hold up. Coach Jacob's on the mic. Listen real close. Let me tell you what's right, And I spit that whole little rap for them, and they just loved it. And so like maybe 2 weeks later, I was at a church, and I got a request. It was like, we want to request you to do that rap. And I was like, I don't know that rap. I read that rap off a piece of paper. I was like, I read that off a piece of paper. I don't even remember it. But I got up there and I did the best I could with trying to remember the words. And they loved it. And then some time later, I got asked to do it again. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh, I must got me something right here. And so I called one of my high school friends. Her name's Sean Brown. And she was a producer. And so I asked her, hey, I said, I got a song. I need a beat for it. Can you make me a beat? And that's how it all started.
Wow. So, okay. So it started from there. And then, because I know you said, I know your first EP is Still in the Game. So was that inspired? Was that the first rap you did, the Still in the Game?
So I actually did an album with I think it was 11 songs on it, but I was new to the game and it wasn't the best quality. I didn't know all of the in and outs about releasing it and copyrights. So that album was just never released. I had it for sale, like a hard copy, CDs. People don't really have those anymore.
Yeah.
Released that album, and so Still in the Game was just an EP that I came back and done, because the first original album was called Get in the Game. And that was the song that I wrote, Get in the Game. And so the EP was just a little sample. I had a manager then, and he was like, you need something hard, that's jumping and popping for the kids, because, I'm traditional. I got that gospel. Even though I'm rapping, you still hear that gospel in it,
Yeah.
And so that EP was just something he wanted to try to introduce me to a younger, hip audience with. And so that's where that came from, Still in the Game.
Yeah. That is pretty extraordinary to hear how you started out, just from the kid walking up the hallway, and then you using that as a tool to educate. And then, so do you think rapping is your calling? Do you think this is your purpose here on earth and everything?
So I believe that it's one of the avenues that God wants to use me in. I believe that I'm called to evangelism. So I believe that it's a tool. It gives me a platform that I would not have had access to otherwise. And so I believe that God is using me in that. Do I think that the final destination is a rapper? I think that it's much bigger than that. I'm gifted in speaking as well. I can captivate an audience. Well, just like my auntie, I'm funny. So when I get up there, I captivate my audience. I'm real, I'm relevant, and I'm funny. And so I believe that God is going to elevate me to that in his timing. I used to say I'm going to be like the next Joyce Meyer, even though, I'm black, but, but I believe that because Joyce is funny, and she's able to, I just felt like I had a strong gifting to be on something of that caliber. And so I believe that God is just opening the doors through my rap. Like I said, the kid passed by rapping those lyrics, and now I'm a national and international award winning artist. I've won several international awards. I've won local awards and national awards. I've rapped internationally and nationally. And so God is just continuing to broaden and open doors for me. And so I do believe that it is the avenue that God had for me to go down because it was none of my doing. It was all God. He opened every door. I tell people all the time, one of my managers I had once before, she said, "Stop telling people you don't like rap." She said, "That don't sound good and you're a rapper." And I was like, "But I don't even like rap." So I know it's God's gifting. That's not something I'm old school. I want to hear some Shirley Caesar, some Vicky Winans, some Karen Clark Sheard, or Dorinda Clark, or I really love that type of music. More contemporary or traditional. And so there are a few Christian hip hop artists that I do enjoy listening to from time to time. But it's just not what I desired. Not even my own music. I didn't even listen to my own music until I got married and my husband wouldn't stop playing it. So now I've gotten used to hearing my own music. But before him, I didn't even really listen to my own music.
Wow. And I love how you allow yourself to be free to pivot, and because that kid opened up something in you and you thought it was a one-time thing. And I love also how you are not putting yourself in the box. When I asked you, is rapping your thing? You was like, no, it's a catalyst to, because I think everything that we do in life, it creates a stage for something else. It introduces us to people, and we find ourselves on a much larger stage than we ever imagined because we allow ourselves to pivot as needed. So I love that. So do people ever try to put you in a box though and be like, "Oh no, you just a rapper"?
All the time people try to put me in a box, and not just the rapping box, whatever box they think I belong in. That people have done that. My degree is actually in psychology, and I started out as a psychometrist working at Trail State Hospital for 4.5 years.
Oh, wow.
And so I've always just allowed the Lord to kind of lead me and guide me and open doors for me. In the middle of me being a psychometrist and thinking that I was going to get my doctors and become a psychologist, I started coaching AAU basketball. And the athletic director from Terra came and talked to me and said, "Hey, if you get your teacher certificate, I'll hire you to come coach for us." And that's how I even ended up in teaching, because I was like, "Oh yeah, summer's off, sign me up." That's all I was thinking about, being off in the summertime. But all of it was just God moving me and positioning me, because without that, I probably would have never got into the rapping. If I would have stayed the psychology route. And so even when I quit teaching and I said, okay, I'm going to go and pursue this music thing, and all the teachers try to keep me in the teacher box. No, teaching is your calling. Everybody, even my best friends, to this day, she still tell me teaching is my calling. Teaching is your calling, And so I have teachers and people who want to put me in a teacher box. And then when I started rapping, a lot of producers were against. You've listened to my music, and so a lot of my songs have singing in them. Almost all my hooks. Some of them really take you to church, and so it's not like hardcore rap. It's more of a Neely Dickerson told me, she said, "You're the bridge between Christian rap and gospel." She told me that. I don't know if you know who Neely Dickerson is, but she works with Kurt Franklin. And so she told me that, and she said, "You're the bridge between gospel and that rapping." She was like, you bridge that together. And so people try to put me in a box and make me just be hip hop. Like, no, you got to take away all that singing. Nobody does that. It's not rap, And so I just never allowed anyone to just say this is where you belong, because God, whatever God have for me.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, and I love that, because if we look in our lives, God is super strategic. And I love, like, when I look back in retrospect of just even my own life and how you're in one place at the right time to meet somebody. And that's why I always tell people, everywhere I go is for a larger reason than what I know. It could be starting a job or something like that. You go here, you meet somebody, like the job I'm working at now. The young lady that was instrumental in me getting this position I'm in now, this company, I met her before I started there. I had met her 13 years before, and we worked at the same job for 6 months, and she left. But we connected at that one job within that 6 months, and we became friends. And so when this position came open, I had gotten laid off from my job, and I wasn't even looking for a job. This was during COVID. I said, I'm gonna sit at home and get unemployment like everybody else do. That's what I was thinking. And the job came available. And when it came up, when I called, I was like, hey, this job your space came open. I'm gonna apply for it. And she was like, well, I know the manager. And I just, like I said, if I never would have gone to that job, the first job, I never would have met her there, which probably I probably wouldn't be where I am now. So I tell people all the time, everything is a part of our plan. And we go there to meet somebody or to be blessed by somebody or to bless someone. And if you just pay attention, everything that in our life today has been connected by something else. That's right. I love how you just constantly, you met the coach and you started coaching and you're teaching, but you're just constantly pivoting. I think that's amazing, Lyric. I think that's awesome.
And I feel like I have not missed what God has had for me in doing so. Even with my move to Atlanta, and making that decision, I was with the record label. You mentioned it when in the before I came on. You were saying you came to that concert I had when I had just signed with the label. Yeah. So I moved. The label was making me all the promises. They're based here in Atlanta, and they were like, "Oh, if you were in Atlanta, we could do this, this, and that." And it's hard because you're in Texas, and we have these connections, and blah blah blah. And so me, okay. So you said nothing but a word, and so I picked up and I moved to Atlanta so that things could be easier and flow easier. And I got a little bit hoodwinked. It's okay. Things I got out here and things didn't go as as they were promised. But I just kept grinding, kept working. I started back teaching out here, got a teaching job at a wonderful school that I love, and they're just my family. They become my family. My Aunt Marion is actually coming out here to my school to do a play, to do The Way. She does The Way. She's going to be doing The Way here next month at my school for those students. And also, I met my wonderful husband. And if I had stayed in Texas, I wouldn't have never met this wonderful man of God that He has blessed me with. Don't get no better. Listen, thank you, Jesus. And if He was the only reason I came, it was good enough. And so, you say you can't beat God. And obedience is what it's about. When you pray, I always pray and fast before I make any moves. And I be praying, I be seeking God, and I tell God, because sometimes I feel like we can mistake the voice of God with our own feelings, what we feel, and we think, oh, God is telling me this. And so I always tell God, don't let me move on my accord. If this is not what you have for me, block it. Close the door, block it. And so that's how I try to move. It was when His yoke is easy, His burden is light. And so as I'm making decisions, when there's a lot of resistance there, a lot of people count resistance as the enemy, like, oh, the enemy. But when I see that resistance, I yield to the Holy Spirit, like, okay, well, maybe this is not what God has for me, And so I believe that He operates with me in that manner because He know His children, and He know how we listen and how we obey and what moves us and what doesn't. And so He knows that I'm one that Lord, if this is not what you have for me, block it, close that door. And if He doesn't block it and He doesn't close that door, I'm gonna go on through it,
Yeah. Wow. I love that. And I even love, everything that you're saying is just so amazing. I even love the fact when you said Marion is coming to Atlanta, because that's something me and Marion always talk about, her taking her stuff on the road and how she wants to like really get her stuff further than what it is already now. And you just there in Atlanta. And here it is. Now she coming to Atlanta to do her stuff, and that's gonna open up more doors for her. It's like I love that.
Miss White is on. I can see on the YouTube, and she is the one that actually opened that door. So I just want to tell her thank you for allowing my auntie to come. Her and our head principal, Miss Wilkerson, for just allowing and being open hearted to allow that to come in and be a blessing to the children. Because you've seen The Way, haven't you seen The Way?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen the way that Marion does. It's the gospel version of The Wiz.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
But Marion is like, and I've told her this 1,000 times. I've told her this in person, and even when she was on the podcast, Marion is just like, her mind is beautiful. She's a brilliant mind. She's a genius. Super colorful. So I can only imagine what the kids and the school, how they're going to be blessed and changed by it. And then even inspired, because Marion is one of those people, wherever she goes, she inspires someone to be bigger and to think bigger than what they could ever possibly think. So I think that's amazing. So Miss White and Miss Wilkerson, I think that's the name you said. Y'all up for a treat with Marion Jacobs. She's amazing. And Burks. I don't want to leave Brother Burks' name out there. Yeah, y'all love. So okay, so let's come on back. So you have 4 CDs out. You got Still in the Game,
Mhm.
Real Love, The
Yes,
Journey,
yes.
and
Flowing from my heart.
Flowing from My Heart. And that was the one I couldn't find. We already talked about that. So
Yeah.
okay, so it's one song. Well, okay, so I had like a favorite song on all of your CDs that I did listen to. But so Still in the Game was my favorite on your first one. That was my favorite on your first. And then the
Okay.
second one, it was 2 songs. The one you did with Kim Scott.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
love that one.
Make me new.
Make me new, make me new.
Uh-huh.
I love that one. But the one that I really, really loved, like I listened to it maybe about 5 or 6 times. No lie, I
Okay.
listened about 5 or
Okay.
6 times. And it's number 2 on the CD. And I think it's Something About
Something about
Love.
love.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Something about love.
Okay, so talk us through that song because so when I first heard it, and I love your lyrics, you lived up to your name on that song. I'll tell you that. You lived up to your name on that song because the
Okay. Okay.
storytelling of it. Originally, when I first heard it out, because I was like, okay, is this a secular song? You know,
Okay. Okay.
because you're storytelling,
Right. Right. Right.
and I was like, is this a secular song? And then it was once we got to the end of the song that I understood what you were talking about. So
Mhm.
so what inspired that song? Because if when they hear it, you think you just came out of a bad relationship, you done cheated on your man, you done did everything. I was like,
And you know what? The funny thing, listen, that is so funny you said that. Because the funny thing is that song, that album came out right in the middle of when I was going through a divorce. And my ex-husband, we hadn't made the decision to go to get the divorce yet, but we were going to counseling. And it was the day I decided that I was getting out of that. And he said, I heard you release your new CD. Give me one. And I said, you can buy it. I told him where he can go buy it. He said, I can't have no CD. You can go buy it. But I knew somebody had told him about that song because he was too anxious. He wanted to hear that. He wanted to hear what was on that new album so bad. But the funny thing is, and even when you say I'm so lyrical, is I really didn't write that song. And I write all my songs, even most of the chorus part. My American writes a few of my chorus parts, but most of the time I write all of my songs. And that song, my best friend Shalana had wrote a poem for me, and she given me that poem for my birthday, and I liked it a lot. And I said, I'm gonna turn this into a rap. And so I changed and tweaked a few things on it, added a few things, but the majority of that poem, she wrote that poem.
wow. But I
don't know
tell
if she's
you,
on here, but Shalana Lakey, she wrote that poem for that song.
that song is amazing, but it was, you could feel you in it. You know,
Yeah.
for real. I love when you hear music and you can feel the person that is presenting it to you. Because
Yeah.
I was like, dang, Lyric done been through some stuff.
Yeah.
But
She said she wrote it about her life. Like it was her what she was just pouring out, and she gave it to me, and it just fit so well because it was like I felt it when I did feel it.
but
I read it, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna turn this to a rap."
yeah, I mean, you did amazing. But when you get to the end and you said like you fell on your knees and you were crying, and I guess Jesus picked you up. He picks you up, and then you go back into about the big arms and the
talks about
embrace.
washing his feet with the tears of things I've seen. Yeah. And so it's kind of a biblical reference, you know what I mean? Talking about washing the feet of Jesus and how Mary did with the perfume and everything. But yeah, it's a powerful song.
It's a powerful song. I no lie. I listened to that song maybe 6 times because, like I said, I listened to it because I heard the prelude to it. The young lady that did the spoken word.
That's the person who wrote the song.
Oh, okay. That was really good. And then the song came in, and when the song started playing, I listened to it because I'm a writer, so I listen to lyrics as well. So I listened to it, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then I hit it again. I said, okay, yeah. And I hit it again. And like I said, the emotions and the delivery of the song was amazing. Yeah. So I think the two of you, even though she wrote the song, the artist and the lyrics clapped
Yeah.
like well, and it made a beautiful sound because you can feel every emotion of you in that because you delivered it. She wrote it, but you delivered it.
I delivered it. And I
But
changed a few of the words. So that's why I allowed her to do the poem as the prelude, because she
yeah,
wrote that poem as well. Love Does is the poem that she wrote. So Love Does was the poem she wrote, and then Something About Love was just the poem that she wrote, and I kind of tweaked it and changed it a little bit. So that's why I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let you read your poem on this album as well, just to give her that inclusiveness. But yeah, she did an awesome job.
yeah, that song is fire.
Y'all
It's
check
really
it out.
fire.
Something
Yeah.
About Love
So,
on that
and
Love album.
Real Love album. It's a black cover album with white letters on it, but it's number 2 on that
The
track.
red heart, and it has the heartbeat coming from it, and it was flatlining. I don't know if you pay attention to the cover,
Yep.
it's a flat line, and then you see the crosses, and it gives a heartbeat. Yeah.
So let's talk through the Make Me New song because I heard Kim on there, and I love the piano because it was just I love how you kept it with just piano. The artistry of the song is really good. So the piano, the instrumentation wasn't too much. The vocals were really, really good, and then your lyrics came in on top of that. Another fire. So let's talk about that song.
And those songs actually kind of coincide. They collide with each other because the producer, Benjamin, that I was working with, I actually, Make Me New was the sound he was trying to give me for Something About Love. Well, he was playing it, and he was playing it. And then I said, you know what? I think I got something else that'll go with that. And that's how I transformed that beat. And I said, no, we're going to use that beat for this. And then he had to come up with something else for Something About Love. But that's actually how he kind of flowed for that song in the first place. And then I was like, I had been kind of writing with Make Me New, and I could just hear it when he was playing it. I could hear that. And so, it's just talking about, I wrote Make Me New. I wrote Make Me New at a professional development. We were in a teacher's professional development, and I don't like meetings. And so I was sitting there, and I'm always trying to find me something. I've written a lot of songs in professional development. Really, I have. I've written a lot of songs in professional. We get that, I get that notebook, and I said, I just tune after whatever they talk about, and I write me a song. And so I wrote Make Me New in Terrell doing one of my professional developments, and it was just coming from my heart, that I wanted God to make me new, like been going through life feeling like you're drowning, you know what I mean? Because sometimes life can feel like that. Like we just don't know which way is up. You're trying to live right, you're striving to do right, and it seems like everything is just falling apart, And so when things fall apart in our lives, sometimes I'm talking about myself, not other people, we tend to try to want to go to things that we have found comfort in the past, And so I was just at a point where I was struggling, trying not to go back to old ways and doing things the way I used to do them. And so I was just crying out to the Lord, saying, like, Lord, take my mind and mold it, transform it, make me new. And so that's what that song was all about.
Wow. And I'm glad that you stood your ground on the beat because both songs are perfect the way they are. So I'm glad you was like, no, we're going to do something different because the Make Me New song, it needed just the simplicity of what you have on there to not take away from the message and the words because it's such a powerful song. So I'm glad you made that call and kept that simple. That was really good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on your third CD, and I may be a little biased because I know this person too, but my girl Marion, I got it. I got it. And I love the rap. And then when Marion came in and Marion was singing and you were still kind of rapping a little bit, but you had a tone to your rap. So Marion was harmonizing almost like with your lyrics as you was doing. And then BICTORY, all of that was like.
I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
BICTORY. I got it. Yeah.
So what inspired that?
Really, I was just listening to the beat. That was because sometimes I write songs in many different ways. Sometimes God will give me a tune in my sleep. or he'll give me some words and I wake up, I might jot it down. One time I was pumping gas at the gas pump and a song just dropped in my spirit. I went and got the car real fast and wrote it. Sometimes I listen to a beat. If a producer sends me a beat, I just listen to it and see what hits my spirit and I flow with it. Sometimes I just write a song with no beat and then I have to get a producer and I try to harmonize or try to hum what I'm thinking or how I think it's going to go, give him the melody, and then they have to create it from there. So there's all different ways. And so that one was a beat that my cousin from Detroit, Kevin Jacobs, had sent me, and it was just bumping, and I just got to writing. And that's how I got it. And I try to put my Marion on a few things. She's on my Marion and my mom are both on several of my songs, especially on this new album. They on most of it.
Wow.
This new album is different.
Oh wow, I'm excited. And that comes out later this year, right?
Later this year. It's called Seasoned Saints. Seasoned Saints.
Oh
so
wow.
So on all of these songs, they all feature saints that are seasoned. I let one person get on there that's 40. I told him he barely made the cut, but he had gray in his beard. he had gray in his beard. So I said, you got a little wisdom about you. I guess I'll let you go ahead and get on it, But it's all seasoned saints. Carolyn Traylor is gonna be on here, my Aunt Marianne, my mama, one of my cousins, Cool. I don't know if you know Cool, but all seasoned saints. Sister Cantaloupe. I don't know if you know the comedian Sister Cantaloupe.
Yeah,
she's gonna be on
Katrina
this
Jeffries, is that her name? Yeah,
yes,
okay.
She's gonna be on this album. So very, very special project that I'm working on right now.
Wow, I love it. So let's talk about this here, because like I said, when I was introducing you, I think the support that your family brings to you and everything is so extraordinary. And even just talking here just now, you said your cousin Kevin sent you a beat. We know Marion supports you. We know your mother is extreme support to you, your sister, your brother, your husband. We see everybody supporting you. Like, how important has that been for your journey to where you are today?
I think it's been extremely important because, everybody needs to feel supported. Even when we're doing what we know that God has called us to do, it's still important to have those people that are supporting you, uplifting you, praying for you, covering you. And so I thank God for my support system. I always have since I was a little girl, because like you said, the Jacobs is a big family. And they've always been there, especially when it comes to doing anything that is going to be the business of the Lord, And so just from the way I was brought up, my upbringing, and how I was taught that only what you do for Christ will last, how that was instilled in me. I think that all of that just plays a part in the support of my family. And sometimes you might get discouraged. Sometimes you do feel overlooked. Sometimes you do feel like, am I really qualified to do this, And so I think that just having those people in your corner that you can count on, when you invited me to be on this show, I didn't have a doubt in my mind that I know my mama gonna be on here, my sister gonna be on here, my brother gonna be on here, my auntie gonna be on here. I know those people are going to always be there. And so it is comforting to know that somebody's gonna show up,
Yeah. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't have. There are some people who do not have that sound, solid support system when they are pursuing their dreams and they're going out and they're doing everything. And it's unfortunate because when you are creative and you are constantly envisioning things and you're doing things, you do need people there to cheer you on, to encourage you. Hey, keep going. Because as you know, you're planning the event and you think 1,000 people are going to show up and it'll be 10 people that show up, and that weighs in on you. So
right. You're right about that. But I've never had to worry about that because my Marion gonna draw a crowd. And so when she knows when I'm gonna have something, my Marion gonna be selling tickets, my mama gonna be selling tickets, my sister gonna be working the door. Like you said, when you came to the concert, I laughed real hard because when you come to that, you know it. My brother on security, I have both my brothers on the security. I got my cousin gonna be on the sound. I got my other cousin gonna be the MC. We all involved. And that is an amazing thing to have that type of support and to have that type of talent in one family. I tell people all the time, like everybody can sing except me. I used to be bitter about that. You know, I really did. I couldn't understand, like, Lord, why would you let everybody in my family be able to sing? Everybody, Jonathan can sing, Junior can sing, you know. I don't know if you heard my song on there, Bet You Can't Run and Hide. It's on the Journey album, but both of my brothers are on there, you know.
Oh, those were your brothers.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The one rapping, Jonathan, you know, he was born 6 months when my mom was only 6 months pregnant, and he had a lot of medical complications and things like that. But even he wrote his own verse and was able to do that. And so just a blessing, God, how God's blessed our family. But I just didn't get the singing gift, you know. And my mom would try to rehearse with me, and she'd be like, do this run. And she would run, and she want me to follow her, you know. And I would do it, and she'd be like, girl, you ain't trying. And I'd be like, I am trying. She said, you ain't trying. Girl gone. She was the girl gone. You ain't trying. I was like, I am trying, but I just didn't get that gift, you know. You know Patricia Jacobs, I Told a Storm.
Yeah.
I mean, just gifts. Everybody can blow.
Wait a minute, Patricia is your cousin?
Yeah, that's my uncle, my mama's brother's daughter.
Okay, the church I play for now, Patricia just came over there. I mean, she's so cool. She came over maybe a year ago, and she sung. I played for her, and she killed. Man, she was
I tell you, Valentine said my cousin had a song. That song, I Told the Storm, was at the top of the charts for
the top of the charts. Yeah, for a long time.
Because I tell you, that's my first cousin. Like, everybody got this gift, and I was like, Lord, how come I can't sing? I mean, I tell you, I can't sing. I can sing solo, you know, solo, you can't hear me. You remember when you was playing and you was playing for the choir, and you be like, okay, come on, altos, and then you point to us and we supposed to sing, and I'd be looking like, oh, you want me to sing that out loud? Without everybody else? Like, don't do us like that, you know? And so I just was so hurt that I didn't get that gift. But I'm grateful to God because I have a gifting all of my own, you know. And I never knew I could be a rapper. I never knew that was what he had for me, you know. And so he probably was looking at me like, girl, be quiet, quit complaining, and wait till I develop you, you know. But here I am, like, wanting to sing. I want to sing something.
So let me ask you this question. So we know you have an amazing support system. So as you are climbing and going higher in your career and your passion and everything, have you ever had a time when you had to let go of people?
Oh, yes.
Now, how was that process for you? Because sometimes we be trying to carry people up with us.
Yes. It was, I mean, through different stages of life, I've had to let go of people. You know what I mean? So as God has been changing me, changing my heart, like I said, make me new, as he's been making me new, then you have to break off those things. You can't be around the same spirits and people that you work, because you'll be easily entangled in that thing that God has set you free from. And so just through this journey, I have had to be part ways with a lot of people, some that were very close, some that were family. You know, and it was hard, you know, but God kept me through it, and he kept me focused. And I knew that for me to go where God was taking me, I had to let it go. God even told me that in a dream one time, and it would just repeat in my mind all the time. It said, if you want to go, you got to let it go. If you want to go, you got to let it go. And he just kept, and every time, if you want to go, you got to let it go. You know, we tell the Lord all the time, send me, Lord, I'll go. He said, if you want to go, you got to let it go. So we can't continue to hold on to things, people, habits, things, anything that the Lord is telling us to let go. We have to let it go, because we don't know what lies ahead, but the Lord knows. And so I have some people that are probably really upset with me because I had to let them go, you know, and it's no hard feelings. I love them to death. I pray for them all the time, but they just could no longer be in my circle, because I couldn't have those influences and those things around me, some of those spirits, you know. So everybody don't believe in spirits, but I believe in spirits.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to guard yourself and not be open to everything. Now, that doesn't mean that I think I'm better than anybody or anything like that. You know, I pray for people. I go wherever the Lord send me. Sometimes he send you into places where there are spirits, you know, but I be prayed up and equipped when he send me. He know I can withstand. And so just as hanging out and being buddy with everybody, I just learned that there were some people that I had to let go to get what God had for me.
Yeah, if you want to go, you got to let it go. And I think that's fire, just as saying, because I think that a lot of times when we are climbing the ladder and we are going higher in things, many times we're holding on to people and we don't realize it, but they're holding us back. And they're not telling us don't do these things, but they plant seeds of doubt, or you're creative. So when something comes up, it's natural for us wanting to share it with someone else to get feedback. And I learned you can't get feedback from everybody. There's some stuff you have to wait until it manifests. They find out when the world find out about it.
That's right.
You can't share everything. And that's unfortunate too.
Yeah, especially when you think they're in your corner. Sometimes we have to find that out the hard way, or we think that they're cheering for us and they're cheering us on, and then you find out they didn't really mean you any good. That I've had that experience a couple of times, and that can be very hurtful. My pastor here in Atlanta says all the time, he said, you choose to be offended. And so I have, at first I used to have a hard time wrapping my mind around it, because it was like, how do you choose to be offended? It's like, no, if you did something to offend me, like, I can't help that I feel offended. But then I just really started thinking about what he said, and sometimes people might not like what you have. They might not can appreciate or think it's good what you're doing, but we don't have to be offended by that. We could just, like you said, learn to have discernment and keep things to yourself until the time that it's supposed to be released. And so I think that that's one of the things I'm learning. My husband tell me all the time, you talk too much. But like you said, you be wanting to share, you want to, hey, he like, nah, you have to hold that, and then when it's time to release it, the Lord let you know. Like you said, sometimes that's after something is already manifested and come to pass, and then you let them find out. Even with my marriage, I popped up married. we dated in silence, and then I just popped out married, and everybody was like, who she go with? She married? Me didn't know she had a boyfriend. We didn't know she was dating somebody. Everybody was trying to figure out, was it that old the dude? I was like, nah, it wasn't that dude. I've been left that dude. They were like, who you married?
Wow.
I popped out married on him.
Popped out because it's unfortunate, because we love these people and we know in our hearts that they love us as well, because I think people, they love us, and it's I guess it's the whole crowd mentality. They pull you down to keep you where they are. They don't ever want to rise up to meet you, but you do have to. And I'm saying this to everyone that's out there that is doing. It's a couple of things that I want everyone to take away that Miracle said on tonight, or she's exhibiting, is she's not placing herself in the box, and she's not allowing anybody else to place her in the box. And you always, finding yourself open and available when God positions you in these spaces to do hard things. And then again, people, you have that circle of people. It could be family, it could be friends. Circle who surrounds us is so important, because they're feeding us. They're feeding us mentally, emotionally, and so forth. So you have to be mindful of the people that you keep in company with. And it don't mean they bad people. They just may not be good people for you in this season. And you have to let them go.
That's right. Surround yourself with wise counsel. That is important, when you are seeking advice and you're seeking and you're making moves. I think it is important to have a strong circle. It doesn't have to be a lot of people. A circle could be 2 people.
Yep.
But having 2 people or 3 people that you can confide in, that are striving to live right. You know what I mean? Because that's the difference. None of us are perfect. All have sinned but the Father. But it's about that strive. And when you know that a person is seeking God and they're striving in their life, their fruit, like I say, you can judge by the fruit. When you can see the fruit of the Spirit, and you know that this person is a man of God or a woman of God, I think it's important to have those people in your corner to seek wisdom and spiritual guidance from.
Yeah. So Miracle, Lyric, I keep saying Miracle. What is
I
going on with that?
I am a miracle.
You are a miracle. You are
a lyrical miracle.
You are a miracle, but your name is Lyric. Your name is Lyric. And I do know a miracle. And the funny thing about it, y'all about the same height, exactly the same color, but she sings. Sings, and she's here in Dallas. Like, she's a phenomenal singer. And y'all resemble, but her name is Miracle. You're Lyric. But so Lyric, what is next for you?
Oh, okay, so like I said, I'm getting ready to drop this album, Season Saints, and I'm so excited about that. I'm currently on tour with the Worship Gathering, the Hip Hop Worship Gathering. So if you guys want to Google that, the Hip Hop Worship Gathering is a bunch of collectives, Christian hip hop artists, the Coldfields, MC Nice, who is a Grammy winning artist. Who
You
else?
said Canton.
Shannon Jones, Uncle Reese, are all they? Yeah, we just came off a cruise with all of those people. Bree Smiles, Miss Tiffany, who's a stellar award-winning artist. Just a lot of people that God has placed me amongst, and so I'm just grateful for God for all the opportunities. You know, VZ Washington with Right Way Records is heading that up, and so I just bless God for all the opportunities, all the doors that He's opening up for me. It's been really amazing.
So, Lyric, someone's trying to put a plug out there. What's next is her putting me on her album. I told her she missing out.
That's Miss White. That's Miss White. I told you about. That's letting my Mary.
Okay.
You know what? She got a little bit. She can sing, but she got to keep practicing.
See, now you doing her like you said your mama did you. You not pretty. You not trying. You know you need to practice.
She's trying. But I do have a wonderful single that I'm gonna drop before that album drops with one of my co-workers from the middle school I work at here in Atlanta, Dr. Givens. I don't know if Dr. Givens is on, but shout out to Dr. Givens, Misty Givens. We have done a collaboration together called What a Friend. Oh my gosh. It is truly, truly an amazing song. My husband be listening to it on repeat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is. Wow. It is really wonderful. And we let a few people here at school, and so everybody's like, "When that's gonna drop? When that's gonna drop?" And so I was like, "It ain't dropping to the album drop," but everybody was making such a big fuss. I said, "Well, I guess I can drop it as a single." So yeah. I'm gonna drop that as a single here in the next couple of months, and hopefully, God blows our mind with that.
Oh, he will. He will. And I mean, my mind is blown away just hearing you talk about it, because again, here's an example, everyone, of Lyric going somewhere. She's only been back in Atlanta for 3 years. And in that 3 years, you connected with people, you done recorded a song, a single that you're about to release. And this all happened in 3 years. So that people, I tell you, wherever you
got married. I met a man and got married.
In 3
years. In 3 years.
You met a man since I left the church.
I met a man since you left the church.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And got married. I met him. I told you I met him out here in Atlanta. That's why I think God sent me out here just for that. Yeah.
And y'all, the other day, her and I, we had set up a time to talk and everything. And it was Saturday. I didn't realize it was Valentine's Day, and she didn't either. And she called me up and she was like, "Hey, John, me and my husband, we about to go out and celebrate." And Lyric was trying to talk to me. I'm like, "No, you get off the phone and be present with your man. Do your thing. Go enjoy your day." I mean, but again,
my husband, he was encouraging. He was like, "Yeah, y'all call, talk to him, get that out the way before we get where we go." So I was like, "Okay, let's go and do it. If you're available, let's go and chat." But I appreciate you allowing me to be present with him in that moment. But I think after I got a phone with you, I think I fell asleep for the rest of the car ride. I didn't talk. I wasn't present nowhere. I woke up. We was in the parking garage. I was like, "Oh, we made it."
Oh my God. But people, again, in 3 years, she's met someone, gotten married, recorded a CD, and met someone there, knew Dr. Givens, that she is bringing onto her CD, which is giving Dr. Givens exposure for what she does just by a brief encounter. And that is the amazing thing to me about God. It doesn't take him long. Everything is strategically planned if we are willing to just flow with the plan. Just flow. Be open to whatever comes your way, because there's so many things, so many people, a lot of places we go and we're sitting next to someone that's supposed to bless us in the future.
That's right.
So it's always important to treat people right and Just be open. I love that lyric.
Right.
That is just amazing that you done did all of that in 3 years.
Yes. God is so good. He really
Wow.
is. And if we trust him and be obedient, that's what it's about. Don't let fear stop you from doing anything, right? Fear is not of God. Everybody know that God has not given us the spirit of fear, right? But of power, love, of a sound mind, right? And so when you cannot operate in fear, right? If you're operating in fear, you're definitely not in the Father's will. And so I just encourage people, like, even if you feel fear, do it anyway. Do it scared. Do it scared. If God put something on your heart, he put something in your mind, it's for a reason. When you feel that pulling and and the enemy wants you to be afraid. He wants you not to walk in what God has for you. And so if I could say anything, I would encourage people to seek the Lord and do not be afraid. Do not be afraid.
Wow. Wow. I love that. I love that. So everyone, we are going to give away some gear off of Lyric's website.
That new merch.
Right. And she's wearing it right now. What does it say, Lyric?
God is good.
God
That's
is
on my
good.
hit song on the back. It says,
Yeah.
"Ain't nobody mad but the devil."
Yeah, because that was one of the tracks on your CD, right? God is
Yeah,
good.
that's my hit. That's what everybody want to hear. And if real quick about that song, I thought that you was gonna ask me about that song because that's the that's what I'm known for. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. And I'll tell you real quick how that song came about. I told my cousin Kevin in Detroit, I said, "Hey, we got a bad football team down here. I need you to give me something that's hidden so I can write a victory song for the football team." And so he sent me that dun, 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 dun. Boy, it was hitting, boy, them horns hitting. And I was listening to it. And so I was on the phone with somebody, and they were just talking about how I was laughing and so full of joy, and I was going through a divorce. And they was like, "Why you so happy? Like everything all right?" And that's when I took that song. I didn't even write no victory song for the football team. That beat was hidden, and it just started flowing from my heart. And it was like, my God is good when everything is bad. He's a smile on my face when the world says to be sad. He is my joy, the world wish they had, because he's a good God. That's why the devil mad. Come on, let me see. Ain't nobody mad but the devil.
And so the time you did that at the church, your mama was in the audience. I was like, did Dad write the song? Did she write the song?
My number one fan.
She knew every lyric, everything. I mean, she was bouncing just as hard as you were. I was
my
like,
number one fan.
yeah,
My mama,
I love them.
Listen, my mama ride or die. She is my number one fan. She gonna know it. She
was killing it that day. That day, she was. I mean, like she was performing harder than you were. I was watching her, and I should have been watching you.
Yeah, she gonna do it. She gonna show out. She gonna show out for me. When I get up there, it's all over.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that. My mama is my number one supporter. But yeah, that's where that song came from. I wrote it because people wanted me to be sad because I was going through my divorce. And I was just glad to be getting rid of that Negro. I was like, ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody sad around here.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So Lyric, I'm going to let you pose a question because we're giving away this shirt tonight and you can win it here. So Lyric, you can ask them some and you guys put it in the comment. And it could be something that we talked about on tonight. And whoever gets it right, you get that sweatshirt Lyric got on. God is good. She'll ship it out to you and everything. It's already taken care of. So Lyric, go for it.
All right. So the question is, and it's the first person who types it in, what is the name of the song that John said he really liked and he listened to it 6 times? What was the name of that song?
I'll give y'all, it got something to do with love.
Yeah, it's on the Real Love album. Number 2 on the Real Love album. What is it?
So if y'all get it, y'all get, and that's a nice sweatshirt. Like,
yes,
for real.
Yes.
So what does it say up under the D? What's the writing up under the D?
It's Lyric.
Love it.
Yep, it got a little microphone on there. So LYRIK. So Lyric for God, while they putting their answer in, stands for let your rap increase knowledge for God. And so that's why it's an acronym. That's why it's all caps when you see it. It's let your rap increase knowledge for God. And that's what I always want to be about. You know, some people rap about their testimony and what they've been through. But when I rap, if you really listen to my words, you're going to hear a lot of scripture. I mean, scripture after scripture after scripture are in my bars. And so, you know, I did that on purpose. I wanted it to be edifying, not only to the church and people there, but for the kids, for the youth, because kids don't read the Bible like we used to. You know, our mama made us read the Bible. There wasn't an option. Like we can go to bed, read the Bible. And that was a mandatory thing that we sat down and read the Bible. But I know a lot of youth don't do that. And so I purposely put a lot of word into my song so that students will get that in their heart. You know, hide that word in your heart, and they don't even know that that's what it is, but it's there. When they know those lyrics to my song, they know the word of God.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know, the funny thing, when I saw the thing, because of course, your lyrics, like you said, your lyrics are phenomenal. So I thought that was like a manifestation of who you are as a person. But I love the acronym. I just typed it all in. I wasn't even thinking that it was an acronym. I just, because it's such a great name. Wow.
Thank you.
So, okay. So no one put it in there.
Nobody knows.
So, hey, do you mind giving it to somebody if I pick somebody?
I think what Robin said, number 2 on the Real Love album. I think that's about the closest that we got, ain't it?
Yeah, and then that's who this is who you're talking about on the screen.
Robin White.
Yeah, and that's the one you're not letting on your CD, right?
I said it wasn't a no. It wasn't a no. I said keep practicing.
That's a no, Robin. That's a no. That's a no. You ain't singing on this project. Maybe 2 more projects down the line, 2030. You'll be ready.
So, they saying all kind of stuff. Books of the Bible. It's not books of the Bible.
No, it ain't books of the Bible. It ain't books of the Bible. So
I think
she just got it.
Oh, somebody got it.
Something about love.
Yeah, Tanya P71 got it.
Yep.
You got it.
What you can do, Tanya P, you can send LYRIK her information.
I already got all her information.
Okay,
so my T Jones right there. I got you. That's why she know it too. She know all my albums by heart.
That's
all right, though. That's all right.
That's all right.
She the first one that got it. So I'm make sure I get her that sweatshirt.
Yeah. So go ahead and Tanya, happy. I hope you enjoy the sweatshirt. It looks amazing.
Thank you for tuning in also.
Absolutely. And so LYRIK, so they can follow you on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the same, LYRIK, and that's LYRIK, the number 4 God. So you can follow her on all of those. And then you can go to her website to get gear from her. Please support her because you know she's doing an amazing thing. So go out and support her, buy some gear, wear it, tell everybody about it. And then if you don't buy it yourself, just tell everybody else to go out and buy it, and then stream her music. Put it in your playlist and stream it. It's so important.
I need all of that 0.008 cents.
Exactly.
Please.
Wow. Oh, and
actually, if you listen to it on YouTube, that pays me the most. So go and listen to my song. All of my songs are on YouTube, and that's where I get the most coins. Not Apple Music, not Spotify, Tidal, none of them. YouTube. Go listen to my music on YouTube because I get the coins on the YouTube.
And you don't have to have a membership on YouTube. It's free. You may have a few little commercials or whatever, but they just about 30 seconds. Just get through those. Go listen to her music. Yeah, and I think people don't get that. Like we don't sell CDs anymore.
No.
So everything
only in concerts. When I have concerts, then I have a line, and I'm grateful to the Lord. You know, I felt like the Lord was giving me a little bit of taste of being famous one day because I had to rap at this church in Shreveport, and in Greenwood, Shreveport. I think that's what it's called, Greenwood, Shreveport. And I rapped at that church. Marcus, I can't remember the pastor's name, but it's Marcus something. Marcus Ellison. Pastor Marcus Ellison. I was wrapped at his church. And when it was over, and they said she'll be selling CDs in the back. And I went and I set up my table and I looked up, baby, that line was so long.
Oh, wow.
I said, all these people want to see a CD. And I sold over 50 CDs, and all of them wanted me to autograph them. I was so sick of signing it. I said, oh, the Lord said, do you really want this? I was so sick of signing it. By the time I got through there, I don't even know what the thing said. I'm like, it looked like lyric. There you go, baby.
Oh my God.
Yes, that was a task. And now I see why people have stamps. You stamp that. If we keep signing that, just stamp that on there, baby. I said, I'm gonna give me a stamp.
But that is the blessing that you were able to sell CDs, because you don't get a chance to sell CDs anymore. Everything is streaming now. So
you're right.
Guys, go out, stream her music, put it on your playlist so that it can just, repeat itself over and over again. And like she said, is really a penny by the time you get those streams, but pennies add up. So
that's right.
Go out, stream her
music.
Even
a penny. It ain't even a penny unless it's on YouTube. If it ain't on YouTube, it ain't even a penny. But on YouTube, give me a penny. I like a penny. Give me a penny. Plenty pennies add up.
They add up. So again, guys, just remember, we're here next Monday, same time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And while you're out there listening to Lyrik's music, listen to K. Renee audition tape. That's what the whole CD is about. Last weekend we did Your Future Looks Good on You. And then the first week we did Match Your Energy. And tonight is Placeholders. And I definitely want to thank everyone for going out and listening to it. And on Apple Music, Your Future Looks Good on You was the #1 song. So you guys went out and listened to it after we did it on last week. So go out, K. Renee audition tape. It's amazing. We'll be back next Monday with another song, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Lyric, I can't wait to get your new album. Make sure you let me know so we can give it out here on the podcast as well.
Can I say something to your listeners? When I release the pre-sale, this is important now. It's going to go on pre-sale. I need you to buy the pre-sale, because that's what helps me get to the top of the charts, on the top of the Amazon and the top of the Apple, is when everybody has bought those pre-sales, and then the day it drops, it looks like everybody bought it on that day. And so that's what's going to help me get to the top of those charts. So if you could be on the lookout, and I'm going to pre-sell that for a couple of months before I actually release it, because we're trying to get to the top of the charts.
I love that. I love it. Oh, and something I failed to mention earlier, Lyric has been named one of the top 10 female gospel rappers. So kudos and congratulations to you on that.
Glory to God. Listen, wow. He is good. He is good.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you. Look, I have had so much fun. I'm so happy that you invited me here tonight.
Absolutely. And we went to church together, and we never even really got a chance to talk. So this was my first time ever hearing a lot of the stuff that Lyric shared with you guys on tonight. And this has been very enlightening to me, very inspiring to me. And I hope that Lyric has inspired each of you that have watched tonight. Please go and follow her on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, one of them. Go follow her.
All of them.
Yeah. So she's doing some great stuff.
The only time you talked to me at church was when you were telling me I was hitting the wrong note. You had to single me out. Hold on, altos, just the altos by themselves. Hold on.
No, but there was one time you sung, and I said because you had moved to the tenor section. I said you sound really good. I said your voice is rich. I told you that. See, people always bring out the best. She didn't mention one time I gave her a compliment. You did. Listen, because you had been calling me out in that alto, and I was like, you know what? Let me get out this alto section, go over and sing with the tenors. I'm going over and blend in with my brother Neil. But you was holding it down. You was holding it down.
You said I was holding it that day.
Yeah, you was holding it down. He was holding it down. So people, that's how folks do you. They always gonna tell the bad day. She ain't said nothing about the time I told her she was holding it down.
Okay, he did tell me I was holding it down one time in a tenor section.
But thank you so much, Lyric, for coming on here tonight. Marion, thank you for introducing me to Lyric. And Dale, your mom. She knows. And Dale, I hope Dale. So this is the funny story about her mom, Dale. Now Dale can kill. I mean, she sings amazing. She sounds a lot like Dorinda Clark Cole. But Dale always want everybody to change the key. She always said, "Can they change the key?" No, we're not changing the key. You singing in this key. So Dale, I hope you still singing in the key that the song was written in, because ain't nobody changing no key for you.
You got to put it in my mama key. You got to put it in her key. If you want her key,
to come on up.
Her key.
No, your mama was lazy. She was being lazy. Your mama got range. Yeah, your mama got range. She can sing them notes. She was being lazy.
I think she more, but she sang on the lower end.
Yeah, there you go.
Mama was being lazy. Mama, you heard it, mama. You heard what he said.
She already know.
Tell them, mama, if they want you to sing the song, play it in your key. She said, I still do that. You see, she said, I still do that. That's right. If you want her to tie it up, play it in her keys. She can't be trying to sing other folks.
We ain't changing, Dale. We ain't changing. But guys, we will see y'all next Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, same place and everything. And thank you all for watching on tonight. And until next week. Peace.
Yeah. Real life stories and transparent conversations, hustle and grind, love and relationships, with all the tools for living your best life. It's the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. The Dope Ass Dude Podcast.